I'm Jeffrey Rokoha. This is my Potter's Journal for October now, 2025. Okay, so much production ware, finally getting it behind me, wanting to be lazy, but no. This time I'm going to make something just for myself. No big numbers, just 5 simple bowls. 5 simple bowls, but making them special with what we put on them. I'll share that this week and next. Okay, let's see what's going on in the studio today. This is what got me started by putting the skulls and the tulips on mugs and on little shots. And then I moved up to the chip and dip plates. You know, these I think I really like more this year than last, but no, there was something special about last year's too. And I wanted to do more this year. Wanted to do more for you, for an upcoming show at Bella's Wishes. And I didn't know what. I had done so many things that were forced. But then I realized I had this plate that had been, sitting around here. Since I don't know when. And I thought, I'm going to do a candy plate. So I put the skulls on there, I put the pumpkins, but somewhere along the line, okay, I noticed it has a thud. I think there's a crack in it. But this got me started. This was completely spontaneous, unlike what was in my sketchbook. So I decided that's what I would go with. And I had done something like this before with these slip trailing on. I'd called them salad bowls. This was kind of unplanned. Candy bowls. Candy bowls. Halloween candy bowls. Okay, I've been carving lots of skulls and pumpkins in little things I've done before, like shot glasses and little snack plates. This is 3 pounds of clay. The ones I showed you the first time were 2 pounds of clay. And I've been carving into the chip and dip plates and suddenly thought, well, maybe we should just make bowls, candy bowls. Okay, with the happy skulls dancing around them. And the vintage-inspired, 20s, 30s, 40s era jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, so we're going to center this kind of low and wide. Okay, and compacting and opening up a very big area, not going straight down and through the middle with your thumbs or your fingers or something. I don't know. I watched a how-to throw video, and if I had to put my elbows like that and everything the way they said, I don't think I could throw a pot. So I am just gonna go freestyle here and go with what is comfortable. Okay. And these are not going to be trimmed, so we want to get the bottom just right. It's so much easier not to have to trim and to catch them at the right time. Back and have that added process. Okay, so we will compact the bottom since these are Halloween candy plates. Those of you who like that spiral thing in the middle. Okay, I guess can put that in. It might fit the theme of the pot. I am bringing this up with this hand. The sponge on the top is just holding the top in place so it doesn't get out of hand, so it doesn't start moving all over the place. At the same time, releasing a little bit of water too. And we're making a bowl, something fairly wide. It's going to be a low, wide bowl. Okay, notice we are not bringing that out now. We are just bringing it up, keeping the top in. And since the top is going to come out, leaving a bit of extra thickness up there. Making sure we get everything down there so that we don't have to trim. Okay, and this time around we are starting to bring the top out. But I will take the rib and get under there and make sure we get all of the clay that's down there. And getting the last from down there, bringing the top out again just a bit more, but still leaving a lip or rim fairly thick, because that is going to come way out yet. Okay, this is going to have a wide rim and a small base on the bottom. I am shaping, sorry, I only have one camera up today. Okay, the bottom of the base, the bottom of the bowl, the rib, and now we will bring out the top. And I want a fairly wide, okay, what is that called? Platform to put these skulls, the carving into for our candy, Halloween candy bowls. Okay. And I think we did that a little too low. When it shrinks, it will come up. So maybe we're all right. Except for, okay, I smeared clay from the rib onto the rim of the bowl. So hopefully I just got that up. Okay, and I'm doing here what people do with the leather. What we do with the leather in the States is pretty much a waste of time. But the Slovenian potters, okay, know how to use a leather like you've never seen it done before. Okay, and now we are ready for the slip. And I'm trying not to bring it up too close to the edge, because in case I do turn these over to smooth out the bottom, sometimes that gets crushed on the wheel. And if the slip isn't thick enough, it kind of burns through when you carve through, so that happened to me once. I did all the sgraffito, but the white slip wasn't thick enough. So it didn't really, the design didn't read. Okay, and now, you know, this is a mistake. That this really should be done in the dry stage as sgraffito. But I'm doing it now. I think I'll leave the other one to be done later, and then we'll, since this is the first year I've done these, we'll decide later which way was better. Okay. Candy bowls. I really don't want to trim anything. let's put this back on here. I took the splash pan off so that maybe you can see. But I really don't want to trim anything. Why would I want to put this back on the wheel and trim when I could do it now? If I can get in there. I think the light is too low, so you can't see what I'm doing. But, okay, it's, yeah, the light is too low. So we gave that a bit of an undercut. And now, rather than a foot to finish it, I am taking back of a needle and I am putting a little line up there. Actually, I'm going to put 2, and that will finish the pot on the outside. Oh, and now I can put my head back up above my knees and breathe. And the wire. And cut off the next morning, and making sure that that pin doesn't poke up through the pot when I lift it off the bat. And okay, the flip. Alright. And we don't have to trim it, but we will take our thumb to round off the end, and this was a little bit rough, so we'll just take the sponge to that, and no trimming, no mess. And I think this is going to be an interesting alternative to the normal trimmed foot. Okay, so cut off. And it needs to dry now the other way round. So the flip. Okay, and okay, there we go. And I think a very nice foot. All done while it was still on the wheel. And so the next day, all I do is cut it off, turn it upside down, take a sponge to that. Not a traditional trimmed foot, but I think this works. I always use the simplest of tools, Kemper. You can't get any simpler and old school than that. No fancy name on it, no designer handle. A student, okay, if you have them, may have left it behind in your studio. Didn't even have to buy it. I inherited most of mine from other potters, and we get the 3 skulls dancing around. I switch over to the other side now for the eye and the details. And we've got 3 of these skulls dancing nicely around the pot. They can be seen from any angle. And then we'll go here with the vertebrae, so it's a dance. This will connect them all together. And then their hands. Pennsylvania meets Mexico with the Dia de los Muertos skulls and the SGRAFFITO tulip pattern from Pennsylvania Pottery. And I don't know if this is actually SGRAFFITO. Maybe I'm cheating. Maybe I'm cheating because it is still slightly leather hard. And this way we don't get the dust. So the technique, it'll come out looking a lot different than if it was actually scratched through. Cannot really be called Sgraffito. So is anybody, okay, up the ladder from me, in the know, or anywhere on exactly what the technique is called? If you're not scratching it through, but nicely drawing it through, leather hard, and avoiding the dust. Okay, and remove all the little peels. Alright, and there we go. Our dancing, happy skulls. Okay, and that was these great little candy plates. You've seen these before. The big ones will be something special. You go through my videos, you know what I do. The squiggles, the dots in the dots, the sgraffito. But more than just the skulls and the hearts. Alright, we'll have a kiln opening next week. Stop back and see what's going on in the studio next week.